What should we talk about today? So welcome to the Jeremy Lipkowitz YouTube channel. My name is Jeremy Lipkowitz and you are here on my YouTube channel. What's been on my mind lately is this concept of porn and the question of, is porn bad? Is porn evil? Is porn wrong? And I want to come on the channel today to clear something up for everyone, just to set the record straight. And I want to say that I don't have a problem with porn as an idea. I don't even have a problem with porn in general. What I have a problem with is addiction. And what I have a problem with is a lack of conversation about the effects of porn on the mind. You know, I will be the first to admit that porn might have some actual benefits to it. You know, I think there's some studies showing that people who watch more porn might be more open and less judgmental of other people. Something about maybe it expands your horizon of what you're willing to accept in other people. You're less bigoted, you're less prejudiced. And so that might be a really wholesome aspect of watching porn. But I think there's a whole host of things that we're not looking at. And what really troubles me is the fact that we don't talk about it. We instead want to sweep everything under the rug. We assume that if you want to talk about some of the potential problems with porn, it means that you must think that all porn is evil, that it should be banned outright and outlawed. And that's just not the case. But here's the thing. Whether we like it or not, porn is having a huge influence on our generation, on almost every generation, but particularly my generation and the younger generations as well. If you look at young boys and young girls right now and you see the way that they're interacting with digital technology, you see the amount of pornography that they're consuming at young ages, it's impossible that it wouldn't actually be impacting that the way they interact with each other and the way that they view themselves and the way that they view intimacy and sexuality. And so again, I just want to clear up that the thing that I have the problem with is two things. One is the addiction itself. So there's nothing wrong with porn, but when you have a porn addiction, then we have a problem. It's the same with alcohol. I have nothing against alcohol. I drink beer and wine all the time. But it's when you have an addiction to that substance that it becomes a problem. When you're using that to hide or run away from certain emotions, when you're using it to escape, that's where the problem arises. The other thing I have a problem with is, again, that lack of conversation. What we need desperately right now is more healthy conversations about the effects that these things are having on us. It's the same with social media. You know, there's nothing inherently wrong with Instagram or Facebook. But if we don't start talking about the way that it's influencing our mind, the way that it's rewiring our mind, then we're in for kind of a nasty surprise, I think. And we're starting to see this already, the amount of social media addiction, the rise of anxiety, the rise of things like body dysmorphia and eating disorders, I think in large part due to things like Instagram and social media. So my request from all of us is that we start being more open about this. And in order to do that, there's one important thing we need to do, which is to end the shame around watching porn. You know, there's this weird added stigma around viewing porn. For whatever reason, you know, we tend to be more ashamed of our sexuality than anything else. So it's one thing to admit that you are an alcoholic or that you are a former drug addict, but to admit that you're a sex addict or a porn addict for some reason is more difficult for a lot of us. It feels extra shameful. We're more ashamed of that side of our humanity. And so it's something that I believe in, that we need to end the shame and we need to start opening up more about these issues. So that's my view on porn. I don't think porn is evil. I don't think we should ban it outright. I think anything you try to ban outright, you're just going to make it worse, because you then push it to the underground and it's still going to happen What we need is to learn how to have a healthier relationship to these technologies, a healthier relationship to these substances. Because the goal is not to never have lust or never have, a sexual feeling anymore. The goal is to have a healthy sexuality. So that's my thought on porn. I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with addiction, and I have a problem with the fact that we don't talk about these things. So I hope that you will join me in starting to have these conversations and have them with your friends, have them with people you feel comfortable with. If you're a guy especially, this is even more difficult, in part because us guys don't have safe spaces to talk with other guys for the most part. It's very hard to find a men's group. It's very hard to just find other guys where you can talk about things like porn and sex and all of these issues. So reach out to a friend of yours if you can. Get vulnerable. I've noticed in my own life, the times when I've been able to be vulnerable about my issues, my struggles, are the times that I've felt the most free, the most liberated. So if you're watching this and you're a guy and you've been holding something in, you've been hiding something, see if you can talk about it with a friend of yours. And it might be hard, it might be scary, but I think you will notice that one of the greatest things you can do is to be vulnerable, to open up about what you're struggling with and share it with someone else. In the coaching work that I do, it's one of the most liberating things that a lot of my clients tell me is just the ability to actually talk with somebody about this stuff is so liberating. So find someone to talk to about it. Let's have conversations about porn. Let's have conversations about sexuality. Let's have conversations about all of the stuff in that realm. Because that's the only way we're going to start healing these issues and healing addictions. So that's it. I hope you're all well. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button as always, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.